Visual storytelling, as the name suggests, it is nothing but without using any words or any other medium, you are going to tell a story only by using pictures, as in only using the photographs which we have taken. So, how do you define a powerful photograph? So, if you see this photograph, it conveys an emotion. It says the person, the girl, she is angry or she is scared, yeah. So, or she is fearless. Okay, it's up to the beholder, but it says something. It conveys an emotion. So, and that becomes a powerful photograph. So, yes, so it need not be a series of photograph, even just one photograph will do a story, to give you a story. So, yes, it stimulates our hearts, it has emotions, and it should be used correctly also. Let us say I am using this photograph in a place where I should be showing fear, it will be right, it will work out. Let us say I wanted to show happiness or any other emotion, so in that place I can't be using this image. So, there should be relevance, there should be, so basically a photo should be used properly and correctly. And yeah, how do we take a powerful photograph? See, we do see the emotion, we do we should be seeing a story out of it, but again you need proper composition, proper technical aspect to that photograph, only then it will be effective. Let us say this picture, the framing, if the framing was not okay, if the framing was different, this photograph will not be that impactful, or it will be a the photograph itself would be a wrong thing. So, yes, so we have something called single image storytelling. So, when if you look at this image from the background or from the hands and from the expression of the boy and the baby, you will know it is trying to tell you something. You would have easily guessed it is from a war. So, basically this photograph was from the Syrian war. So, yes, a good photograph of image which has storytelling, it has the following components. So, first will be a composition, next would be an action. So, action here is the boy carrying the baby or the boy crying and people putting their hands out to reach out to them, and emotions. Of course, this picture is emotional, it kind of stimulate our emotions as well. And yeah, experimenting with different angles again becomes an important part of storytelling, because maybe if the photographer would reach this photograph with a different angle, it would have given a different perspective. Let us say only the hands are there, or maybe the background is different, yeah, that would give a different idea, that would tell a different story. So, yes, approaching it with a different perspective. Let us say the hands are not there, again it is going to be different. So, yes, you basically, to give a proper storytelling image or a powerful image, we put the desired subject and the other technical elements, the composition and everything together, only then there will be a proper and a powerful image. So, there are different types of storytelling. So, first we have ambiguous photo story. So, ambiguous, the word itself says it is open to interpretation. So, let us take this, let us take the case of this photograph. So, unless the girl or the photographer explains, you will not really know what is happening in this photo. It is up to your imagination. Maybe I would say this person is trying to cross the road, or she is waiting for someone, she is waiting for the vehicle, or she is posing for the camera from here. It is up to us to interpret it. So, yes, ambiguous photo story, the story is unclear, it has many versions, and yeah, there is an element of mystery. So, when I look at these pictures, I would take the background also into account. So, there are no buildings, there are no houses also. So, it creates a mystery. What is she doing over there, or what is she trying to do? Yeah, so that becomes the element of mystery, and yeah, based on the viewpoint of the observer, each person will be having a different opinion about this photograph, and that is ambiguous photo story. And then you have personal photo story. This is nothing but our everyday photos which we take. Let's say it's a wedding album. So you will be the if it is your wedding album, you will be the one to narrate it, or yeah, you will be the one to brief about the photo to the viewer. So all your wedding album or group photo or your graduation photo, all that will be a personal photo story. Again, if it is a wedding photo, it is going to be telling the story of your wedding. So from the photo, the entire style of the wedding, the ritual, everything will be conveyed. And then we have a documentary photo story, which is really important for photojournalism. So in photojournalism, what we basically do is to document what all the events happened, what are the things happened. So here many would have known he is Che Guevara. So this is again it's a corpse of him. So after his death, for record purpose, they have taken this photo. So yes, most professionals, as in the photographers from the government departments or for the police department, they have a separate photographer also. So them and the photojournalist, they take photographs as a record only, for a record purpose only. So yes, it adds it has significance to, and it also records the historical events. So it should be truthful, it should be objective, and it should be candid. So it's not like I can frame the event, I can frame the subjects, or I can manipulate, or I can ask them to enact and show. No, it doesn't work that way. It is going to be candid, like however it is, I'm just going to document. I'm not going to put my creativity out there. So these are few examples of storytelling. So when you look at this photo, you will be able to guess. So there is a lot of history, or there is a lot of other things in this one particular photograph alone. So they are homo couples. So they were together for a very long time, but it was only after this after America's rule, after LGBT was legalized in America, they were able to get married. So this photograph, it has a huge history, huge you know, a landmark, a milestone to it. Yes, so this is not this is a picture of mine workers. So when you look at the picture and the framing, it is done perfectly. So the only source of light will be that headlight the person is wearing. So their entire lifestyle, or what they do every day, or the risk involved in their profession, everything will be conveyed through this photograph. So again, this is from war. This lady, she is trying to save herself from the terrorist, from the army. Yes. So yes, this could be the typical photograph of you know, to explain how storytelling works. So there is this person who is giving water, or he is offering something to the person, and one more army person, he is looking at him from out there. So maybe it conveys when will he come to him next, or what is he doing during a war. It could be anything. And yeah, so again, when talking about ambiguous, if I leave it up to you, you will be able to give a lot of versions of this particular story alone. Yeah, we have something called photo essay, and photo story and photo essay, it's going to be crucial to understand. Yes. So yes, photo story is, see, until now we've seen like single photograph, single powerful photograph, which is going to convey a story. So here in photo essay, we have a series of photograph which is going to tell you something. And yeah, storytelling, it is going to be the easiest way to give you a powerful image, because you have more number of stories. You know, it doesn't stop with just one photograph. So the creativity of the photographer, it will be shown, it will be apparent here. And so usually a photo story, it should be very simple. At the same time, it should have a clear definition. So like how we write a essay, so usually when writing an essay, we'll be looking for the beginning part, the end part, and the middle part where your content is lying. So it's the same for the photo essay also. So it should be unique and it should be compelling. So when I look at the first photo, I should have the same interest till the last photo. So yeah, and if I pick out any one photograph from the series also, it should be appealing to me. So yes, there are famous photo essayists. They were well-known photo essayists during the 19th, 20th century. So one is W. Eugene Smith and James Knatchbury. So yes, the first photograph, it is always called as lead, like how we in a article or how in an essay we have a lead, we have lead shot, or we call it as hook. So that first photograph, it is going to pull your attention, and yeah, then you have a closure shot, which is the final shot. It will be giving a conclusion. So in between you have other creative images. It could be in it could be in chronological order or it could be in any order, but again it should give a flow. So yes, these are few ideas, as in yeah, few tips. So transformation photo essay, as in how I was 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or how I was in 1998 and how I was in 2018 and now. So that will be transformation photo essay. Let's say I was lean some years back and now I look like this, so that will be transformation photo. And time lapse, so this is something common. So right from sunrise to sunset, we have photographers documenting the time lapse. And then you have behind the scenes photo essay. Let's say there is a shoot happening and the behind the scenes photos, like what happened during the actual shot. And you have historic sites or landmark photo essay. Let's say I want to explore all the historic landmark in Chennai, I'm doing it as a photo essay. So yes, that would be one idea. And then you have event photo essay. So which is nothing but your marriage photograph or any event for that matter. And then you have day in a life photo essay. Let's say I wake up at so and so timing, so I'm taking a photo of myself, and I'm reaching office, so I'm taking a photograph standing in front of my office. So my routine, I'm documenting it through photo. So yes, so the first thing, the hook or the late shot, and that will be the end, the output of the cooking. So in between you have different process. So this could be one example of how photo series work. So it's the same here. So from removing the seed and I mean the processing happens over this photographs, and in the end we have the output, which is the processed nuts. So yes, thank you.